yoga. That would have been a video of you all doing yoga. It was Leslie.
Oh no. I don't want my tush on there.
Okay, so today we're going to be doing compassionate back bends. So back bending, I was thinking about it, and really our spine is really good at forward bending, right? That's the way the spine goes. But back bending is the range of motion is much less. So, and how often do we, back bend in our daily activities? We really don't. And so, back bending can bring up a lot of resistance, not only in your body, which might be kind of tight in the front, and but just because it's kind of challenging to do a back bend. So instead of fighting that resistance and forcing your body, compassionate back bending is safe for your body, and it's just allowing what your body will allow and not asking for more. So that is actually one of the personal constraints of yoga, the 10 Commandments or whatever, which is aparigraha, which is a Sanskrit word, but it just means not grasping for things. So overreaching, taking more than you need, or in terms of your body, asking more from your body than it's ready to give. So going for perfection and that wonderful full upward bow, that pose where you're like a rainbow, and you can do that. So anyway, so that's what we're going to be practicing today. We're going to use the breath and 50% effort to just gently allow our front bodies to open and be free while protecting our low backs. So, all right, so just take a few moments to settle in. We're actually going to, I'm going to ask you to come onto your back to do our little centering, because that's where we're going to do the breath practice before we start. So just on your back, scan your body, just bring your awareness inside and see where you are before we start. So check in, see if you can notice any areas of tension. Just relax as you scan your body, see how it feels, and also be aware of your emotional state, your feeling mind, how you feel right now. And your mental state too, whether your mind is very busy, there's a lot going on this time of year. You might have a long to-do list, so just notice that. And during practice, try to not get carried away by your thoughts. Stay with your body. And just notice your breath. We're going to work with the breath in a minute, but just notice how you're breathing right now. Okay, so now we're going to do a kind of the opposite of our belly breath, where you notice the belly rise on the inhale first. We're gonna reverse that. So take your right hand and put it on your upper chest, and your left hand on your belly. Yeah, your knees can be bent or straight. And so now when we come to an inhale, you're going to feel let your chest rise. That's the first thing you notice. And then the rib cage. And then the last thing is the belly. So that's the inhale. And then on the exhale, you contract your belly. And then the rib cage comes towards center. So you contract, relax in the opposite from the bottom up. And then the inhale, feel your right hand rise first, and then it descends down, and the belly rises last. Just gentle, don't force. Exhale, belly contracts, everything relaxes from the bottom up. Let's do a couple more following that pattern. Okay, then when you come to an inhale again, so inhale, chest lifts, moving down, belly lifts. Exhale, gently contract your abdominals all the way up. Now hold that contraction, just gentle, on the inhale. So your belly's lightly contracting, and then you're inhaling, and hold the length of the inhale as you exhale. So what you're doing is just holding on to that gentle contraction of the abdomen. All the way through your inhalation, and then maintaining the lift of your rib cage as you exhale. So like stretching a rubber band in two directions. So you're holding the tension or the lift on one end, the tuck on the other. As you keep breathing, so you have a nice long space to fill, to expand. Then just gentle contraction at the bottom. That's what's going to protect your low back during back bends. Bringing the arch into your thoracic spine, keeping the inhale is going to bring the apex of the back bend into your thoracic spine, not in your lumbar. Okay, so that will be repeated often during the practice. So now just stretch out long. So stretch your legs out long, stretch your arms out overhead, full body stretch. Lengthen out through your fingertips, out through the bottom of your feet. Take a couple breaths here. Each inhale, lengthen in two directions. Exhale, just relax back. And on the next exhale,
Bring both your knees into your chest, take a hold around your shins and just rock side to side. And then bring both feet to the mat, knees are bent, feet to the mat, hip width apart. And bring your arms out to the sides, palm face up. We're gonna just do a few rounds of windshield wipes to open up the hips a little bit. So inhaling in the center. Exhale, let your knees come over toward the right. Just let them go as far as they go, no forcing. Inhale back to center. Exhale, pull your navel in a little bit. Pressure back toward the floor, knees to the left. So just back and forth a few times. Not forcing, just gently lengthening out through your hips. And the next time you come to the center, pause and bring your legs together. So your knees are still bent. Bring your legs together like they're zipped up. Arms are still out to the side, palms face up like a T. Now you can lift your feet off the floor and let both knees still zip together over to the right, or you can have your feet on the floor and let both knees come over toward the right. So your left foot will be off the floor. And our legs are gonna stay in this position. So we're gonna open up the chest here. So on an inhale, lengthen out through both fingertips. So arms reach away. And as you exhale, bring your left hand up toward the ceiling and bring it across your body to meet the right palm and slide the left fingertips out beyond the right fingertips. And then inhale, open like a book, just your arms moving here. Legs stay the way they are. And then exhale, left palm comes over to meet the right palm. So we're just gonna move back and forth like this. Inhaling, open the book. Just the top arm moving. That's right. And then exhale, close, and slide the fingertips out. All right, one more. Move slowly. Okay, the next time your arms are open, bring your knees back to center and zip them up again. Feet on the floor, or you can lift if you want, and let your knees pull your belly in first and let your knees come over toward the left. Inhale, lengthen out through both arms. Exhale, right arm comes across your body. Slide the fingertips out beyond the left fingertips, and then exhale. Inhale, open again. And then the exhale closes. So just opening up your chest here. Okay, then the next time you come to the arms open position, bring your knees back to center. And we're going to come into first back bend, which is a passive back bend, bridge pose. So knees are bent, feet on the mat, hip width apart. Arms down by your side, fingers spread and just lightly resting on the mat. And just, before we start, give yourself a little head start. So press into your arms and lift your chest, bring your shoulder blades together on the back. So just to get the chest a little head start on opening up here. Now, before we start moving, tuck your tailbone. So that's the movement, bringing your navel toward your spine so your low back is going to be pressing into the mat. And then on an inhale, keeping that tilt, lift your hips, press into your feet, lift your hips. So this is mostly using the leg muscles to lift you, not your back. And rise up 50%. Don't go all the way. This is compassionate back bend. Exhale, lower down, round your spine, lower down one vertebra at a time until your hips come back to the mat. We'll do a few more moving bridges, so make sure you take the tilt first and hold that in place. Lengthen out your low back. Inhale, expands the chest, rises up, your chin rises up. You can bring your arms overhead to assist the lift on the inhale if you want. Exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time, slowly, slowly, slowly. So here you're tucking and lifting, keep going. Tuck your tailbone, inhale, lift, feel the chest expand. Don't worry about pushing up high, just 50%. You're going for a feeling of freedom and openness in your chest. And keep a little tuck in your tailbone to lengthen the low back. Just take your time, do a few more here. Think about contracting your hamstrings as you lift. So you want to keep doing the tuck, but now think about squeezing your glutes, pulling the bottom of your pelvis toward your knees. So that's another lengthening out of the low back, protecting. And if you want to, hold. Come up your 50% and take a few breaths, maintaining the tuck. Lengthen. Think about pulling your tail if you had one between your legs. Lengthen the buttock flesh toward your knees. And then as you inhale, reaffirm the opening and broadening of your chest, lengthening up. And then exhale, round and lower. Take your knees and hug them into your chest. Rock right and left. And then you can cross your ankles and rock on your spine a little bit. Come up to, we're going to come up to all fours, or you can come onto your side and come up that way to all fours. So set up in tabletop. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Start with a flat back, neutral spine. So lengthen out through the crown of your head and out through your tailbone, sit bones. And we're going to focus more on
back bend part, the cow pose part. So let's start there. So on an inhale, arms are straight, push into your hands, let your chest come down between your arms and your tailbone go up. But don't think about you want the apex of the curve to be right in your thoracic spine between your shoulder blades. So it might even be good here to take a little tuck in your tailbone. So lengthen out the low spine and don't lift your chin very high. Just look at the mat about a foot in front of your hands. Then exhale, push, drag your heels of your hands back toward your knees, round your back, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, and just move back and forth, inhaling into gentle back bend. Yes, exhaling into a fold forward bend. Just gently, don't force. Think about on the inhale as you come into cow, the chest lengthening, expanding. Okay, then on the next exhale, let your hips come back into child's pose. Keep your arms out in front, extended, so lengthen out here. And on an inhale, lift up, walk your hands over to the right, keeping them shoulder distance apart. So just stretching out the left side here. Take a couple breaths. Inhaling into the stretch of the left side from the hip out through your left fingertips. And then on an inhale, walk your hands back to center. Exhale in the center. Then inhale, lift up a little bit, walk your hands over to the left. And lean into the stretch on the right side. Slow, deep, even breaths. And then come back to center. Keep your arms out in front. Come up onto your knees. So you're in a kind of, walk your hands forward a little bit so they're not under your shoulders. And on an exhale, round your back. Bring your shoulders forward over your wrists. And then tuck your tailbone as you bring your hips forward and chest out and up. Exhale, push away, come into a spinal flexion. So like a child's pose, come back, but not all the way. And then keeping your back flexed, your spine flexed, bring your shoulders over your wrists. Tuck your tailbone, lengthen your low back. Expand your chest, come forward and look up maybe a little. A couple more times. So exhale, round back toward child's pose, about halfway. Keeping that rounding, keeping the tuck. Come forward, and then keep the tuck lengthened out through the chest. So the main part of the back bend is in between your shoulder blades in the thoracic spine, not in the lumbar spine, not in the low back. Okay, then the next time you come back into child's pose, spread your knees out,
come all the way down, rest your head on your hands or block or blanket, and just relax in a wide leg child's pose. Just let everything sink right down, let go of any resistance, any thoughts, just sink into the mat. Okay, then come back to all fours. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back into down dog. You take a couple petals of your feet. And then look between your hands and walk your feet up. Keep your knees bent, coming into Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Chest on the thighs, if that feels good. Just let your head hang, belly in here, so this is still tucking to protect the low back. And then inhale, bring your hands to your shins, lengthen out and half lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, press into your feet, moving slowly. Come all the way up. And then hands down to your heart space and to your sides. And we'll come into mountain pose. So lift and spread your toes. Press into the four corners of your feet. So we're gonna root down and rise up. So pressing into your feet, the energy comes up your legs, and then lift up, shoulders back and down, away from the ears. Externally rotate your arms, that opens your chest. Then relax. Let go of any gripping or extra effort. You're in alignment. Close your eyes if you have the balance and just come back to the breath. Slow, deep, even breath. Open chest. Okay, then open your eyes. Bring your arms up like cactus. And inhale here. Exhale, bring your arms together. And that's exhale, yep. Inhale, open. So now feel between your shoulder blades. The muscles between your shoulder blades, pulling the shoulder blades together. That's the strong upper back muscles that help to let the chest open in back bends. A couple more times. Okay, and let your arms come down, roll your shoulders back, anything that feels good. And take your arms behind your back, clasp your hands. And this is a gentle back bend here. So start with that little contraction of your abdominal muscles, tuck your tailbone a little bit, and then reach your arms back and maybe look up a little bit. So you're reaching out through your hands. If that's not comfortable, you can put your hands right on your back like this. And just take a few breaths. Remember that you're maintaining a little bit of a tuck. And then on the inhale, the air moves up, opening your chest. inhale here, as you exhale, your chest can open a little bit more. Okay, and then come back, and we're going to do our second back bend, which is chair pose, Utkatasana. So, feet are hip width apart. On an inhale, raise your arms up, reach up, lift, rib cage is lifting. Exhale, bend your knees like you're sitting in a chair, bring your hands to your thighs. And we're gonna stay here for a couple of breaths. So inhale, chest lifts and opens. Exhale, tuck. So feel like you're opening on the upper chest, but your back, low back is long. One more breath. And then inhale up again. And this time come into chair. You can come in the same way. We'll move here. Or you can have your arms clasped behind your back like we did. Or you can have your arms up. But whatever arms you have, we're gonna move. Inhaling up, exhaling into whatever kind of chair you want. Tailbone is tucked. I feel like having my arms go back like that is nice. So just move through inhaling up, exhaling. Just make sure you've got the low, stretching out your low back. You can hold if you want. Okay, then the next time you inhale up, exhale, come into a forward fold, bend your knees a little or a lot. Navel in and up. Let your head hang heavy, shake it right, shake it left. And then inhale, half lift, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And come back to mountain pose for a little rest. Just come back to your alignment. Nice lifted chest. Little tuck in your tailbone. Breathe. Check in, relax your face, your jaw, neck. Okay, and then turn to face the long edge of your mat and step your feet wide apart. Feet are parallel. Hands on your hips. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge forward at your hip crease. Nice, straight, flat back. Hands can come to a block or the mat. Your feet might be able to go out a little bit wider. And then when you've come forward as far as you can, then you can drop your head, round your back. But here again, think about drawing your navel toward your spine, bringing your tucking, tail between your legs, lengthen out the low back. And take your hands again, clasp behind your back if that's comfortable. If it's not, you can choose something else. And then lift them away, consciously thinking about bringing your shoulder blades together on the back. So strong upper back muscles to open your chest. And then bring your right hand down under your nose. And on inhale, lift your left arm up. Take the side twist to the left. And then bring your left hand down. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale that arm down. Maybe if you've moved your legs out a little bit, heel toe your legs a little closer together. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lengthening out through the crown of your head. Rise up with a strong flat back. Slowly come up to standing. Step your feet together and take some movement that feels good. Yeah. Just work it out, whatever feels good. And we're going to, well, maybe we'll do a little balance pose because we haven't
Some
done
of us
that.
might need a chair.
What's that?
Some of us might need a chair.
You might need a chair. Yeah, yeah. We'll do chair or a wall. So feet are hip distance apart. Gosh, I don't think we've done balancing for a long time. Okay, so let the weight come into your right foot. First, get your gaze point, something that's not moving. Let the weight come into your right foot, so come on your left toes. And turn your left knee out. And this can be your tree pose, or you can bring your foot to the lower leg, below the knee, or to the upper thigh, wherever you want. Or just hover. And when you're stable there, you can bring your arms into tree. We kind of went into this fast, so take your time. Remember to have slight engagement of your core and your gaze point, and breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Okay, then come out and just walk that out a little bit. And then let the weight come into your left foot. Come up onto your right toes. So just get that stability there, feel balance there. And then if you want to go a little further, you can lift that foot off the ground. And add some arms. If you come out, this is practice, that's fine. Just take a breath and mindfully go back. Okay, come out of that, and we're gonna come down onto our front bodies. So, inhale your arms up, reach up, exhale, bend your knees, come forward into forward fold, bend your knees a lot, hands on the mat, step back into downward facing dog, and then come to your knees, so all fours, and lower down onto your belly. So this is our last forward fold, and it's, back bend, and it's locust. So, but we're gonna start with a little bit more of a moderate one, Sphinx. So bring your elbows under your shoulders, you're on your forearms, fingers are spread,
Now tuck your tailbone here, so that's gonna feel like pressing your the front of your pelvis into the mat, the tops of your legs into the mat. So that's how you stabilize the low spine here. And then on an inhale, draw your chest through your arms. So as if you want to move your elbows back on the mat. They're not going to move, but you're just energetically pulling against the resistance of the mat. And again, 50%, so don't overdo it, don't take more than your body is willing to give. And don't look up, look ahead of your fingertips on the mat in front of you. You want the apex of the back bend to be in your upper back, lengthening out through your low back, tilting down, pressing into the mat. And then as you inhale, see if you can find some freedom in the chest. Opening up. Okay, then stack your hands and bring your forehead to your hands. So just rest for a minute, a few breaths. Feeling the energy from the Sphinx pose. And now let your forehead come to the mat. Your arms are by your side, palms face down. Now locust is a very active back bend. And so what we really want to remember here is compassion, 50%. Don't go all the way. And start by tucking your tailbone. So you're gonna, just like we did in Sphinx, you're gonna press your pelvis into the mat. Maybe contract your glute muscles to aid with that. And then on an inhale, your legs are gonna stay down. On an inhale, your hands are gonna stay down. Just lift your chest and lengthen out through the crown of your head. Not very high, just 50% of what you can do. And then keep breathing. So inhale, feel your chest expand, lengthen up, out. Exhale, reaffirm the tuck of your tailbone. You might come down a little. Inhale, lift, exhale. You can come all the way down each time, or you can hold and just continue to breathe in a compassionate locust. So the purpose of the back bend is to free the front body. It's not to get up high. Okay, now let your forehead come down. And we're going to do it one more time. And if you want to add the legs, if you choose to, your pelvis is still pressed into the mat. You're just going to lengthen out through your legs and keep a really strong tuck, imagining your tail going between your legs. Or that you can come up and just do the upper body like we did before. So one more time. Inhale. 50%, and just take a couple breaths. Lengthen and lift, keeping that tail between your legs. let your head come down, rest on your left cheek or right cheek, it doesn't matter. Just rest. Bend your knees, feet come, bottoms of the feet toward the ceiling, and just move your feet left and right like a windshield wipe on your belly. Just to free your low back a little bit, free your hips. And then inhale, gently lift your head and come onto the opposite cheek. And then let your legs come down. And we're gonna come onto our backs. So, best way for you, just switch sides. And bend your knees, bring your feet toward the ceiling, and take a hold of around your ankles or your toes or the bottoms of your feet. Happy baby. And just rock right and left, gently pulling your knees down toward your armpits or the outside of your shoulders. Okay, then we're going to do a passive, well, let's do a twist. Sorry, we're going to do a twist first. So arms out to the side, shoulders, palms face up. Straighten out your right leg. Left knee is bent. Press into your left foot and just lift your right hip up. Come over more onto the side of your right hip. Give yourself a little head start. And then take your left knee across the right leg. Supine twist. You can rest your hand on that leg to give it a little more weight. And your gaze can go over your left shoulder if that feels available, or can stay straight up, or even over your right shoulder. So just take a few breaths here in a twist. Twisting is a really nice compensation for really any kind of poses, practice. Inhale, send the breath to where you feel the stretch. Exhale, find release anywhere. Soften. Okay, then unwind that twist, come back onto your back and lengthen out your left leg. Come over onto your left hip a little more and take your right knee across the left and come into some sort of a twist on the other side. Okay, then come back to center and take your block and blanket. Does anyone need something they don't have? Yeah, that's a block. Okay, take your blanket and put the fringed edges together. I think they already are. And then fold it again so that the fringed edges are still together. And then, got that? Okay, then we're gonna, so fold that together, like, is that right? Let me see.
then we're gonna roll it from the folded edge toward the fringe, making a little roll. Our last pose is gonna be a supported back bend. So I'll show you how I'm gonna set up and then you can do it too. So you're gonna put the blanket, put the block down on the flat, the blanket over that. And then when you lay on it, you don't want it right under your, you want it to start like in your low ribs. So not right down in your low back. And then you're just gonna recline back so that the blanket is helping to open your thoracic spine. Okay, so your pelvis is on the mat, your hips are on the mat. And then arms just can go out to the side so you drape over the. Does that feel okay?
This always feels so good. Yes. It's amazing, isn't it?
It feels good, did you say?
Yes, so
I know,
good.
this is delightful, I know. Okay, so then you can just, this is a supported fish pose. Sometime we'll do it that's not supported, but, so this is just very passive back bend, supported, so you can just really let the muscles on the front of your chest relax, release, open. So back bends are called heart openers, and when we practice them compassionately, which is with honoring where our body is and what our body can give us, and not asking more of it, not striving or grasping, just taking what is appropriate, then the body can feel free. Now, if you choose to stay here for Shavasana, which might be wonderful, that's fine. But if you don't choose that, then switch to the way you want to be for Shavasana, and we'll just take a few minutes in whatever pose you choose to just relax your body. So I'm just going to guide you for the beginning, and then I'll be quiet, but just start at the crown of your head and relax the skin of your scalp, just as if it were just melting down into the mat. Relax around your eyes, your cheeks. Release your jaw and the muscles of your neck. Let your shoulders sink down into the mat. Release your upper arms, your elbows down, down. Release your lower arms. Let your hands just be free. And release your back body, your torso, down into the mat. the big muscles in your upper legs, the heavy leg bones just melting down into the mat. Release your lower legs, relax, soften. Release your ankles, let your feet fall apart. Your whole body just heavy and relaxed. Surrender everything, all resistance, and breathe. And gently bring your awareness back to the space and awaken your body slowly. Just small movements. Come back to your breath. And gradually bring your knees into your chest and come over onto your side. So just rest inside child's pose. Just ending as we started. So checking out your body, how it feels, checking with your feeling mind, your emotional state, your mental state. Your breath. Remembering your intention if you set one today. And then use your hands to bring yourself up to a comfortable seat. So keeping your eyes closed. Sit with a nice, tall, straight spine. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Hands resting comfortably in your lap. Take a nice deep inhale, lengthening up while you're rooting down. Exhale, release. And I invite you to bring your hands, palms together, thumbs at the heart space. Bow your chin down. Bow to your efforts today, to your willingness to have compassion and not ask more of your body than it is ready to give, to not strive for perfection or what you think is perfection, but to practice aparigraha, which is taking what is appropriate. And I thank you for letting me lead you in practice. And the light in me bows to and honors the very same light in each of you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Heidi.
You're welcome. I forgot to say that compassion for yourself is what allows you to have compassion for other people. So that's an off-the-mat thing that you can take away from yoga. So you practice compassion today for yourself, and it just opens you to compassion for other people, and maybe that's why back bends are called heart openers.